Hey everybody, it's Rose Thorn. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. Wanted to introduce you guys to my little farm in Stardew Valley. For those who've never played Stardew Valley, it is a lot of fun. It's very relaxing. You guys know that I play World of Warcraft also, as well as other video games, but I got into Stardew a while ago and I have lots of fun with it. Now, the one thing I will say about Stardew Valley is whatever you decide to do with your farm, just have fun with it. And I think it's a good idea if you base your farm on things you enjoy the most in Stardew Valley. Some people really like going through the dungeons and doing things. Other people like fishing. Other people like to raise the animals and get the products from the animals or to grow crops. Indeed, there are a lot of different channels with really beautiful, aesthetically pleasing farms. Now, when I decided to make my farm in Stardew Valley, oh, excuse me, what happened? My video just went wonky for a second, sorry about that. Oops. I'm not a pro gamer, that tends to happen. Okay, so when I was designing my farm, time was in mind, because in Stardew each day only lasts 14 minutes, and you'd be very surprised how fast 14 minutes can go. So I was interested in two things as far as time management. I like to forage. I love foraging in Stardew, and I like to preserve things in the preserve jars, in the casks. And my farm, as far as making gold in Stardew, revolves around fish and fruit. And those have proven quite profitable, because everything I've done for my farm, the gold that I got from those two things, from my fish ponds and also from growing various fruits in the greenhouse, Ginger Island, and some of these buildings here are actually like little mini greenhouses, which I will explain in a minute. So for anybody who's interested in playing Stardew and you're starting out in the early game and you're like, I don't have any gold, how do I make gold? What's the best way to make gold? Well, there's all kinds of ways to do it. In the early game, I suggest foraging. You can walk through all the forests, you can find berries and whatnot and turn them in and make some extra gold. Or you can do fishing, that's pretty easy as well. So that's what I did. And then I started looking at all the different things I could put on my farm. And one of the things that I found early on was fish ponds. So a lot of people are into growing crops to make the money. But the thing with crops is you have to buy the seeds. And when you buy the seeds and plant the seeds, you have to look at the calendar and make sure that the amount of growing time doesn't exceed the 28-day cycle. But if you have a fish pond, which I have several, you don't have to worry about that. Fish ponds, it costs about 5,000 gold and a few simple materials to put together. Then what you do is you simply put one fish or a couple of fish into a fish pond. You got to do quests for every pond to increase the number of fish per pond. And then once you get to 10, your fish will produce roe. But not just roe. Sometimes they produce extra items, like you can see here, the squid is giving me like the squid ink. I can turn that into a recipe. What else do we got here today? We got more squid ink. Depending on the fish is the type of extra rewards you might get out of it. So all of the fish on my fish pond, not only do they give me fish roe, which I can sell as is for gold, or I can put the roe into a preserve jar and make aged roe, which is even more. Or if it happens to be sturgeon roe, that'll take a bit longer to age, but then it turns into caviar, which is really viable. So I have a couple of sturgeon ponds as well. So let me just go ahead and harvest all this stuff and get it out of the way. So fish and fish ponds, they might produce roe every day or every other day. And the good thing about fish ponds is these are animals you can put on your farm. They don't really require any maintenance. You don't have to feed the fish. You just leave them alone. Which is unlike having like a barn with the animals and the coop, you always have to worry about having to have feed and collecting the eggs and the milk. You don't have to worry about that with fish ponds. Let me just go ahead and put the row away. So I put all of my row in here. Then when I get enough, I put them in the preserve jars. These are the preserve jars, but we'll discuss those in a minute. But yeah, when I was designing my farm, the first thing I put down was all of these fish ponds. And there's, I don't even know how many there are. There's a lot. But these are continuous money makers for me. And they're basically no maintenance, no food required. I don't have to pet them, which is a pain in the butt in Stardew Valley. Because if you have the barn, if you have the coop, you gotta pet the animals. If you don't have an auto petter, you have to feed them. And that stuff just takes up time, and I don't like that. It's like I want to be free to go and do things in Stardew. So I put up the fish ponds. I also like the feeling of doing something one time and profiting many times as I can off of it. So planting and replanting crops, that takes time, that takes stamina. But the preserve jars, you make them one time, and then if you put them somewhere, you continuously can make money off of them. And as you can see, I have a lot of them. So all of these are my preserve jars. You can put fruit in preserve jars. You can also put vegetables. So you can preserve vegetables, and again, it's easy coin, easy gold. So all these buildings here, the 3 buildings that are purple, they have preserve jars in them. Here's another row of preserve jars. Since I have so many buildings on my farm, to keep myself from getting confused, I just made the buildings different colors so I would remember what's in them. Now these orange ones have the casks. Now the casks I use to make wine and alcohol, which are, you can make extra gold that way. That's why I have my farm revolving around fruit and fish. I like the fruit and fish, and the fruit you can easily turn into wine. So all these different casks. I went on YouTube, looked up different designs for laying out casks to get the most into a storage shed. And I really like this design because when they're empty or when I have to get the wine out of here, I can just simply run through the rows really quick and get them all out. So here's another row. So I've got 4 of these because I do have an excessive amount of fruit. I've got so many fruit trees in the greenhouse and also on Ginger Island that I need all of these casks just to try to keep up. So these 3 buildings are for the preserve jars if I want to preserve something. And these 4 storage sheds have the casks for alcohol and for wine. Now, this section here, okay, for those of you that want to play Stardew and you're very interested in the greenhouse, because the greenhouse is what you use if you want to grow a crop and you don't want to be bothered with waiting till a particular season, or perhaps you want to grow something and there's just not enough days left in the month to grow it outside. That's what the greenhouse is for. So as you can see, I have all these fruit trees. We got a whole bunch of banana trees. We have the mango trees. I got these saplings from Ginger Island. When you go up to all the coconut trees, you can just simply kick the coconut tree. Sometimes you get a golden coconut. You can take the golden coconut to Clint, the blacksmith in town. He'll open the golden coconut and you might get a sapling out of it. And I would constantly go to Ginger Island looking for those saplings. So I've got plenty of the banana trees and the mango trees in my greenhouse and on Ginger Island just for that. I know there is a trader on Ginger Island that you can just trade certain things in for the saplings. My advice is don't do that. That would be just a waste of resources. Just go up to all the coconut trees every time you go there, kick the coconut trees, and you might get the golden coconuts. Then take those golden coconuts to Clint in town. because you can't even use a geo crusher on those. You have to take them to Clint, but it's worth it because if you get the saplings and you grow the saplings for the bananas, for the mangoes, then that's just golden pocket. So just that little trip to go visit Clint is worth it. So what do I have here? I have the ancient fruit plants. I have some pineapple, and this is just various crop for like the different things I want to grow. Like this small section is just for the whatever plants that I might need for a recipe or whatnot. But I put my moneymaker plants in here. I previously had coffee plants in here, but I made a whole storage shed full of coffee plants for as much coffee as I want. The one thing I will say about pineapple plants, they are good money makers, but you have to wait on them to grow. It does take a little longer. Same thing with the ancient fruit plants. So the fruits that I gather up, it's a combination. Some of them, like the blueberries, they may not be as valuable as the ancient fruit or the pineapple, but they give consistent harvest, like repeatedly, versus pineapple or ancient fruit, which take a little longer and you may not get as many. So that's the greenhouse. Doggone it. What I tell you, like, there's only 14 minutes in a Stardew Valley day. And the one thing I do not like about Stardew Valley is I'm an adult and I don't like having a curfew. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me to go to bed. But you do. If you're not in bed by 2 a.m., then you pass out, and then you've got 1,000 gold or whatever and other items missing from your bag. So, you don't want to do that. You want to be in bed by midnight or around 1 or 2 at the very latest, so that what's his face in town, the doctor, can't take money out of your pocket when you're not looking. Also, if you're looking for extra items, extra bonus items, if you decide to play Stardew, try to build up your rep with the people in town. Do some research online to see what their favorite things are. There's a lot of items that are universal liked. Build up your reputation with those people, because when you get to 8 hearts, 6 hearts, they will send you stuff in the mail, just random stuff like, hey, I was thinking about you. Here's a gold bar. Here is a cake. Here's this or that. So build up reputation. Okay, now, before I got so rudely cut off by Stardew, let me explain what's going on here. We have the greenhouse, but these buildings right here function as little mini greenhouses. Let me explain how that works. If you're somebody and you don't have your greenhouse yet, because you haven't done all the quests for the community center, or you haven't gone through JojaMart, you haven't got the gold yet to get the greenhouse feature, there is a workaround slightly. Okay, there are certain things you cannot grow using one of these, but a lot of things you can. So let me explain my system. Oh, we got pineapples all day. So what I did was, if you're in Stardew and you have the recipe to make garden pots, let me see here. Let me tell you what you need. You get the garden pot. You're going to need 1 clay, 10 stone, and 1 refined quartz to make 1 garden pot. Now, for those of you who are starting out in Stardew, you might be asking, like, where do you find the refined quartz? Well, that's easy to find, believe it or not. If you go fishing, or if you put out the crab pots, you're going to get a lot of trash. You're going to get like the newspaper and all of that stuff. Just take the trash, take it to one of the recycling bin things. Where is it? I got to pull it up. The recycling machine, you can make those too. If you have a recycling machine, and I do recommend you have at least one of these on your farm, you can put the trash into one of these, and it might turn into refined quartz. So make the garden pot, and then what you also want to have on hand is, let me pull this up, you're looking for deluxe retaining soil. You got to get the recipe for that also. to make the deluxe retaining soil, you need 5 stone, 3 fiber, 1 clay. You want the deluxe retaining soil. If you try to do this system with any other soil, what you're going to have to do is water the pots every day. But if you use the deluxe retaining soil, if you make a garden pot, you put the deluxe retaining soil in it, plus whatever seed you want, as long as it's not, say, ancient fruit, because ancient fruit will not grow in one of these. If you water it one time, it stays forever watered. You won't have to water it again. So that's what I did for this. So you can actually cheat a little bit and make a greenhouse before you get the official greenhouse. And what I decided to do with these little mini greenhouses is that all of the fruit growing in these mini greenhouses is stuff that you don't have to harvest it and then keep putting the seeds back in and replanting. It's stuff that forever makes fruit. You just plant it once and then leave it alone, and you forever get stuff harvested off of it. So this building is for pineapple, and I color coded these buildings as well. So the yellow one is for pineapple. This blue one is for my blueberries. Lots of blueberries. This one is my coffee plants. And believe it or not, coffee is an overlooked crop for making gold. Because coffee plants do produce a lot of coffee beans. And if you make a cask, you can make coffee. So get a garden pot, or you can plant them in the greenhouse, or even outside. But if you plant them outside, you won't get as many harvests because of the changing of the seasons. But if you have a coffee plant, you get at least one cask. You can make as much coffee as you want. And if you're in Stardew Valley, if you're trying just to get as much stuff done with before the day ends, you want that speed boost, make coffee. But also, coffee is one of those crops that the coffee beans will grow frequently, so you can harvest them more frequently. When you go to put the coffee beans, let me just show you. Oops. Oh, dang it. So we're just going to get some coffee beans so I can show you. Oh, my coffee beans are down here, doggone it. Alright. So I'm just going to put some of these in here. So there's a lot of things you can put inside of a cask or a preserve jar. If you put something in a preserve jar, it doesn't take that long to process. If you put it in a cask, it's going to take a little bit longer than that, like 3 or 4 days longer. But coffee, within a couple of minutes, you have coffee. So you can actually just plant coffee beans, make coffee, and make frequent gold off of that. But coffee is often overlooked because everybody's so focused on ancient fruit and star fruit. Everybody knows those are two like high money crops. But if you don't want to grow star fruit, if you're not really interested in ancient fruit, like there's other ways around it. Like I said, Stardew is a game that play it the way you want to play it. Design your farm around the things that you like to do and the things that you enjoy the most. This is my crystallarium room. These are the crystallariums. You can make those as well. And this is another one of those things. You make it one time, and once you set it up, it just runs itself. So these are all diamonds. If you get one crystallarium, and you manage to find one diamond, if you put it in the crystallarium, it'll forever make diamonds for you. You can put any gem you want in a crystallarium, but the best is always diamond. So I probably got 122 diamonds out of that. So I set up this room just for the crystallariums. And now they're running, and then in a few days I'll have some more diamonds. So like I said, I am interested in anything where you do it one time, you set it up one time, and then it pretty much runs itself. These pink buildings are for the strawberry plants. Now for anyone in Stardew that you're wondering, where do I get the strawberry seeds? There's only one time you can get strawberry seeds, and that is during the festival where you have to gather the eggs. Go to Pierre at his little booth, and you can buy the strawberry seeds. You can't get the strawberry seeds from Pierre, so if you're interested in growing strawberries, that's where you're going to have to get them. And if you happen to find Pierre during that time, buy as many as you can, because that's the only time of the Stardew year that you're going to be able to purchase them. So I set up this room. These are all my furnaces to make metal bars. These are all my recycling machines. And some people might ask, do you really need that many? Yes. I don't know how to do things on a small scale. Besides, remember, Stardew Valley, the game, this is not like World of Warcraft where you can just simply play and play. Like they put you on a time limit per day, so you want to get as much done as you can as possible. So the more machines you have, the less time it's going to take, and the time is limited. Then you got to go to bed and then get up the next day. So yes, I do need all these furnaces. I do need all these recycling machines. It's just a thing. Okay, let's roll with it. For those that are wondering, what are these? These are the geo crushers. These are geo crushers because I do get a lot of geodes and stuff from the fish ponds. And those are more recycling machines. But also where I get geodes, you can see them up here. We got this one you get from getting the perfect rating with grandfather at the grave. And then all of these are the statues of endless fortune, which you can get when you go to the Calico Desert. You go inside the little shop with Sandy, and there's a casino in the back. If you get past the bouncer, there's a guy inside the casino that sells the statues of endless fortune. So I've got several of those, and those are really good for resources too. You can get gold bars, iridium bars for free. So they're not cheap. Like those statues cost 1,000,000 gold each, but once you get them, you can get a lot of gold bars, iridium bars, geodes just from that. Oh, look, more row. More row. Always and forever, harvesting the row. You see, you get like squid ink, you get geodes. So I started off on my farm focusing on the fish pond because they were solid money makers, and as I said, this is a type of farm where you don't have to pet the animals, you don't have to feed the animals, you don't have to worry about weather or anything like that, or the animals getting out of the barns and getting lost. So if you're somebody, doggone it, my inventory's full. I hate that. You know, if you're wanting to set up your farm and you're not really a barn person, a coop person, maybe there are things you want to do in game, and you're like, I just want a little bit more freedom. I want to be able to leave the farm alone and go to a dungeon, not be bothered. Look into fish ponds. They're simple, they're easy, they're guaranteed money makers. You don't have to feed the fish, you don't have to pet the fish. See, here's Stardew telling me, go to bed. I don't want to go to bed. I'm an adult. Don't tell me what to do. I hate that. I don't like playing games where it's, you know, like you're on a timer. Oh, that's another thing. If you get reputation with Pierre, he sends you money. Imagine that, Pierre sending you money. It's a thing. It happens. Let me just put some of this stuff away. You know what? I need to get rid of those diamonds. I'll sell the diamonds. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't really need that either. I gotta organize my stuff. Now I know my farm may not be aesthetically pretty like some people's. I spend a lot of time on this farm, and I didn't want to make any like aesthetic improvements until I was done putting all the buildings. You know, the buildings to me were top priority. So I made space for 3 buildings of preserve jars, 4 buildings of the casks to make wine, to make alcohol, Uh, everything you see on my farm was paid for with fish and fruit. I didn't do a whole lot of farming. As you can see, this is the only plot of land for planting crops. All the crops that I focus on are crops that you plant them one time, you harvest them one time. You know, like you just keep harvesting. You don't have to keep replanting and retilling the soil. I made sure to get the portals. You got this one for the Calico Desert, this one for the beach, this one for the mountains, this one for Ginger Island. Speaking of Ginger Island, let me show you what's going on there. Oh. Ah. It's raining on Ginger Island. Okay. So these are my crops on the Ginger Island. We've got some blueberries. We've got some ancient fruit, which I'm going to turn into wine. I always save the ancient fruit, the pineapple, and the star. If I grow star fruit, I use that in the wine also. We got blueberries up here. You got more pineapples. We got some cranberries and tomatoes for recipes. And again, all of the fruit trees, the mango, the banana, all of these saplings came from the golden coconuts. Don't go to the trader and waste resources getting the saplings when you can get the saplings for free. All you got to do is just keep coming to Ginger Island and checking for golden coconuts. So let's see if I can find some. These are all hops. I'm going to turn that into alcohol. Let me go over here. So yeah, I loaded up this part of the island with fruit trees. I got a fruit tree problem. You just kick the coconut trees. Sometimes you'll get the golden coconuts that way. Sometimes not. But still, you can get it for free. Why waste resources getting the saplings? Do I have enough room? Okay. Oh, by the way, you can also put ginger in the preserve jars. So if you're on Ginger Island and you see the little ginger things poking out of the ground, don't just pass them by. You can make money with those. You can turn that into recipes. Or you can put them in a preserve jar and make some coin. So if you're starting out with Stardew, try to make some preserve jars, at least a few, that'll really help you along with making some gold. Also, since my favorite thing in Stardew to do is foraging, there are 2 times of the year that you can forage a lot of fruit. A lot. There's the, I believe in spring or summer, you can forage salmon berries for like 2 or 3 days and blackberries for like 4 days. You can look online to find out exactly when those days in Stardew are, but I have a route that I follow, and since I also have my coffee, I can just run around Stardew and in the 2 or 3 day period collect about 300 to 400 salmon berries and blackberries, and that's just, you know, it's extra coin. So if you feel like doing that, I suggest you do it, because it's, you know, you're basically harvesting by foraging. And it does help if you choose the artisan profession, because that just makes the value of what you're selling go up even more. So make sure to pick the artisan profession, and also pick foraging, because that'll make anything you forage purple quality. Yay, bananas! I usually, when I go to harvest all this stuff, I will go for the trees first. And then once my inventory is full, I go home, drop it all off, come back around, get the rest of the stuff. Do I have enough room? Okay. Where's my coffee? Now I can run. Now you guys see why I grow all that coffee. I don't need all that coffee, but I just like to have it there. So all the fruit trees have been picked clean. And if there's so many things in Stardew to buy, but aside from the obelisk that you can instantly get somewhere, the return scepter is also fantastic. Because watch what happens. Oh, now we're back home. So when you're in Stardew, you're always looking for ways to do things faster. Because time is a factor. Let me put this away, but no. I hate the fact that we can't make the bags just a little bit bigger. That would have been nice to do. All of my preserve jars are done. This is all strawberry jelly. My hat's off to anybody who plays Stardew and you're making videos. I've seen some really beautiful videos of people with their farm set up to where it looks really, really pretty, but I didn't want to make anything aesthetically pretty until I was done with putting all the necessary stuff on. Now, I'm not really a growing crop kind of person, and I tried so hard. I had 2 barns and 2 coops on my farm before, and it just became so time consuming to sit there and go to all the animals, pet all the animals, milk the cows and get the wool, and I'm like, I just want to be free to go through Stardew and do stuff. I'm impatient, you see, so I set up my farm to where I didn't have to worry about the animals and their reputation. The animals that are on my farm don't really need reputation. They don't need to be petted or looked after. So we get all of these jars, and then you guys can see how much I pulled in from this. Now, as far as your cellar in your house, because you do have like a basement area where you can put stuff. The only bad thing about those is that they take forever. So whatever you decide to use that for, keep that in mind. That once you fill up that cellar full of casks with the barrels, in there. Let me just show you guys what it looks like. It takes forever for an item to go from silver to gold to purple quality. I don't have anything in mind. Oops. I forgot to put stuff. I'll fix that later. But this is my setup for my cellar area. What I put as many barrels and stuff in there as possible. But usually when you put stuff in here, be prepared to leave it alone for a while because it's not going to be as quick as, say, the preserve jars or the casks. And once again, Stardew is telling me to go to bed. That's okay. So you can see just from harvesting all of the strawberry jelly and having the room with all of the crystallariums, how much I pulled in just from that. And the preserve jars, you make them one time and you can use them as many times as you want. Same thing with the crystallariums. You find a gem, you put it in there, and it'll forever make that gem. Everything that I have on my farm was paid for by the fruits and the fish. Not really so much for buying crops. I mean buying crops. Growing crops. Doggone it, I can't talk today. So since we have some ancient fruit, I think that's what I'll put in the, do we have any in here? No? You know what? I know where to find some more. We're going to Ginger Island. So I can fill up the casks in the basement area. Alright, so going down here. Oops. I want to get as much of the ancient fruit as possible. Oh, you know what? I'm silly. I can't put the fruit directly into the cask. I have to make it into wine first, but that's alright. I need to harvest these anyway. I just like to have enough to where when I go into one of the cask rooms, if there's enough fruit that all of them will be occupied. Like just do it all at once. Alright, so can we go home now? Yes, we can. And I'm sure there's more in the greenhouse. So let's go to the greenhouse. See what's going on with the greenhouse. You know what? While I'm here, I'll just get the pineapple too. I don't care. I'll say one thing about the fruit trees. You get a lot of fruit off the fruit trees. Like every couple of days or 3 days that the trees are full. So if you use the preserve jars, or if you do the cask thing and make wine or jelly, you'll be able to make a lot of money that way. Is there anything else? Okay. Get rid of all these. That. Thank you. See, one good thing about the statues of endless fortune is that if you are looking to get reputation with an NPC in town, if you have one of these and you notice that it produces like an unusual item that it normally doesn't, that's a good indicator that somebody in town, it's their birthday, and the item that you're being given is their favorite item, you know, for rep. So always pay attention to that. So if you have one of those statues and you're working on some kind of rep, pay attention to that. Put these in here. I really wish they could give us bigger bags. I need bigger bags. I've got the biggest bags that Stardew allows, and it's still not big enough. Still not big enough. I hate that. I'll pay for bigger bags. Can I make bigger bags? Wait, I have a sewing machine. Why can't I make bigger bags with that? Rude. Okay, so the night market will be in town. That's great. Also, if you're somebody and you're starting out in Stardew, something that I did not know when I started playing Stardew. In the beginning, when you're starting up your farm, you might get some really oddball items, and you might be thinking, what do I do with this, right? What do I do with these things? And you might be tempted to sell them for gold, or ditch them or something. Don't do that, because then you'll be kicking yourself later if it happens to be something that you need for the community center, and you're going to need that to complete all the sections of the community center so that you know, have it all done. Things such as the rabbit's foot, don't sell that. Don't sell that unless you decide you want to make your own farm with the rabbits, and you might get a rabbit's foot out of that. But before you sell anything, if you're looking to get the community center completed, make sure that what you're selling has nothing to do with some of the items. Because if you get it for free, then that means you don't have to wait on it. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to grow it. So just a tip. Nobody told me that. I was selling all kinds of things in the beginning game, and I'm like, then I found out what the community center needed, and I'm like, oh no. One of the NPCs gave me that, and I sold it. Now I gotta wait to find it again. Also, another thing, this little section here, the pine tar, the amber resin, I use that for a variety of items. You can tap trees on your property. You can also tap some trees out in the Stardew world. So again, you just make a tapper, put it on the tree, and if you're needing the oak resin, you're needing the pine tar, you'll get it each and every time. You get the oak resin. Then we've got the maple syrup. You can use the maple syrup to make recipes. Like I said, I'm all about that. Do something one time and make money with it many times over. Versus having the barn and the coop where, yeah, you put all the money into the barn, you put all the money into the coop, you buy the animals, but then you're forever tied to your farm, making sure the reputation doesn't go down, making sure the animals are happy, making sure they're fed. It's just a pain in the butt. It's just a pain in the butt. I want some freedom, doggone it. I want freedom with my farm. I want the power to be able to go where I please. Oh, if you've never played Stardew, you're going to reach a point in the game where you can either choose to have mushrooms in the cave here or fruit. I always chose fruit because my thinking was I could take that fruit and put it into a preserve jar, so make money with it. You can also use the fruit for recipes, so that's why I went that way. See, and these are all my bottles of wine. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, snap. I forgot that I already put ancient fruit into these casks. Well, that's cool. Surprised myself. No wonder I don't have that much in the way of ancient fruit, because I had stuff already in the cask and I forgot. Just keep in mind that whatever you put into a cask is going to take longer than what you'll put in a preserve jar. Some people say that it's not worth it to put things in casks. I disagree. But again, it's all about personal preference. When you play the game, you want to be able to enjoy it. So what do you enjoy doing? Do you enjoy putting things in preserve jars, or do you enjoy putting things into a cask and making drinks versus jellies? It's your game. It's your farm. You can play it the way you want to play it. More ancient fruit wine. Oh no, it's getting late. See how the time just goes by so quickly? So much wine! And a lot of this I will not be able to put into the basement area because there's just not enough cask. And the unfortunate thing is, even though you can do things to improve your house, you cannot really make that area bigger. And that's the only area you can put a cask. So you can only age in that area. So, oh, we got starfruit. Forgot about that too. yes, I took the time to make all of these casks, and now once you're done though, you're done. After I'm done putting all of these away, I'll show you guys another easy way to make money in Stardew. Strawberry wine. Alright, so let's head back to the house. And I'll put the ancient wine and the starfruit wine into the cellar area so it can age. And let's see. Let me just go ahead and... Oh, I don't want the strawberry wine. Get over here, over here. Ancient fruit wine, starfruit wine. Alright, we're good to go. Maybe I don't have the most maximum layout as far as how the barrels are placed, but it's what I like to do. No, I don't want to drink it. See, that's what I hate about Stardew. Your character always wants to eat something and drink something when you're just running around. Here. Oops, did I run out? Yeah, I did. That's okay. I've got the ancient fruit. So now they're all going. Yes, it's getting dark. I don't like the fact that I have a curfew. I can simply just take these. That too. You can go there. Let me go here, and I will go to bed so I can show you another easy way to make money in Stardew. So as you can see, various wine. This is actually from the Statues of Endless Fortune, the ancient fruit wine, the crystal fruit wine, and the strawberry wine. Now, where's my coffee? It's morning. Where's my coffee, doggone it? See how all these fish ponds, they don't just give you roe, which you can put into the preserve jars. You also get extra items like wood, crystals, you get copper ore, sometimes you get the treasure chest. It all depends on the fish. I researched all the different fish that are in Stardew and which ones gave the best items, and I put them on my fish pond, not just for the roe, but also for the items they could sometimes produce. But here's another thing that I did to make money in Stardew. Crab pots. These are all my crab pots, and they're all over the place. I have crab pots all over the beach. And as you can see, there's different items. You've got the periwinkle, you've got the snail, you've got the lobster. You see all the trash? A lot of people might just take the trash and throw it away. You don't want to do that. You want to save it and put it into the recycling bin, and it'll give you things like ore, it can give you wood, it can give you all kinds of stuff. You know what? Let me just go ahead and collect some of these and show you. So we got that. I'll come back and fix this later. Newspaper. I didn't want that. I didn't ask for that. Give me that. Got the glasses. Oh, did I pick up a pot? Oh, I hate when that happens. Pain in the butt. Hey, go back. I did not want that. Listen, I'm trying to put one down, not do that. It won't quit. Get in the water. Maybe because I'm not close enough. No, I don't want that. It just doesn't want to go in. Okay. You go over there. Thank you. Okay. So we've got the little. So if you're fishing, or even if you're out in worlds, you're gonna get trash, especially if you're fishing. So if you get the trash, here's what you do with it. Why is that on my head? You know what? I'm impatient. I want to go home. So let me show you what trash can become. Let me just get these up here first. Don't need that there. Yes, I know my bags are a mess. That's okay. We're going to come down here to my utility room. Those are my geo crushers. You know what? There's some right here. So you take all the trash, gather up all the trash, put it in the recycling bins, and that can become cloth, that can become wood, possibly coal, refined quartz. So it's good to hold on to that trash. And if you get one of these, it can become items that are very, very useful. It does take a minute though, and I've got the crab pots all over Stardew, so I can get the trash, make stuff out of it. See, there we go. You've got refined quartz right here. You've got wood and you've got coal. Sometimes I get ore as well. You can get torches. So if you're looking to make items and you're like, where do I find the refined quartz? That's how you do it. Easy way to do it. Oh no! Inventory's full again. I hate that. I need to organize. I need a secretary. Just get rid of some of this. Don't need that. Alright. So aesthetically speaking, my farm is not the prettiest, but it does make me a lot of money, and it revolves around my interest in Stardew. Because I do like foraging, I do like fishing. I'm not much of a farming person. Not really fond of that because it just takes too much time and energy. Like stamina can be a problem. So like I just rather not. I just rather forego that process. If I'm going to plant something, I'm going to plant it one time. Oops. And then you plant it the one time and all you got to do is just keep harvesting. What am I doing here? Oops. No. I don't know what's up. I don't even like this fertilizer. Get rid of it. Thank you. No. Look at all the cups of coffee that I have. I can't even drink them all. If I have a full stack and I get another full stack, then I just turn around and sell the coffee. See? You build up your reputation with the NPCs, and they just send you stuff. It could be something valuable. It could be a meal. And it's always nice to get that extra bonus. So you got these 3 buildings for the preserve jars. And And all the buildings are color coded so I can remember what's in them. You got these 4 for the cask to make wine or alcohol. The preserve jars, you can make your jellies or preserve roe. You got the greenhouse, and then you've got these mini greenhouses. The mini greenhouses were with the garden pots, with the refined soil and the seed. And you water them one time and they stay forever watered. So main greenhouse, you got the mini faux greenhouses, you have crystallarium room, utility room, you got all the fish ponds. This is how I have my farm set up to make me money, and as you can see, I've done well with it. So I hope that this video finds you guys well and you have enjoyed this video, or maybe if you're playing Stardew, maybe you've gotten some ideas on how to make more gold in Stardew so you could do more things, because I know especially in the early game it's a pain in the butt, because there's so many things that they say, oh, you need this amount of gold, you need that amount of gold, and you're like, well, how do I make gold? I've got to upgrade my tools, I need to put buildings on my farm. Recommendation, when you get the gold, make some fish ponds, get that roe. Once you get the roe, make some preserve jars, put it in preserve jars to increase the value. And if you want to add some casks to make wine, do that. Fishing and foraging always did well for me. You know, running around to the beach, collecting the shells, turning those in. Fishing, you can just fish and turn in the fish for more money. You know, like in the early game, you don't have much to start with, but the longer you go and the more you do, the more money you can make. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my little farm tour. If you have, please let me know in the comments. Would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching. I've really enjoyed having you guys here. Thanks a lot, and I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.